It's fine.
Hello and welcome to the Friday, April 26th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As usual, a reminder that we operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. Here at the beginning of the meeting, we'd like to have folks introduce themselves. We're getting a bit of a late start today. I hope that doesn't cause problems later. But I'll kick things off. This is totally optional. So you don't have to introduce yourself if you don't want to. And we don't call on people, just if you want to introduce yourself, feel free to pop in. So I'll start. I'm Caslin Fields, and I am a developer advocate at Google Cloud. And I am also a co-chair of the special interest group for contributor experience, which is the overarching group that this meeting is a part of. This is the meeting for the subproject of contributor comms. So our mission is around making sure that folks in the contributor community are communicating with each other, and also to some extent that we are communicating externally about the awesome work that contributors are doing. And my pronouns are she, her. If anyone else would like to introduce themselves.
Hi, y'all. I'm Chris Short. I'm a developer advocate at AWS. I've been part of SIG ContribEx for many, many years now, and I'm a co-lead of this subproject. Also, he, him.
Hi, I'm Mario Farland. I am officially a firefighter now, and I do stuff for the Kubernetes SIG Infra and ContribEx comms, and pronouns are he, him.
Congratulations, Mario, on becoming a firefighter. If anyone else would like to go.
Maybe I can go. Yeah. I'm Sandeep Ganambat from India, and I work as a lead software engineer with Northern LifeLock or Gen. This is like my third meeting, and I'm pretty new to comms and really liking it.
Wonderful. Welcome. We're glad to have you. Anyone else?
Hey everyone, my name is Sundipon Panda. I have been a member of Kubernetes and contributor comms for some time. I'm just hanging around and trying to be helpful, and my pronouns are he, him.
Hey everyone, I am Arpit and I am been a part of ContribEx Comms for a year now, and I am just here to write some blogs and share some fun facts. So feel free to reach out.
Welcome, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I think we can hear you now. I was just about to say in the chat that I couldn't hear you before, but
Hello.
you can go ahead, Sylvester, if you'd like to.
Engineering Manager of Financial Services IT. Yeah, you can't hear me.
I can, but it's like really delayed.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You might try going out and rejoining, or you can use the chat too, like you were,
Yeah.
and I'll read it for you.
Federico said he'll be here in
Thank
about 5 minutes.
Cool. So in the chat, Sylvester had said, and he said aloud that he's an engineering manager in financial services, and he had mentioned in Slack that he's new to the community and just getting started with attending some meetings. We're excited to have you. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves? All right. I think we will move on then. If this is a very casual call, so if you want to interrupt and introduce yourself, or if you have any questions, comments at any time, please feel free to speak up and let us know. All right. Another first item of business is we ask for a volunteer note taker with each meeting, and Chris has already volunteered to take on that role, it looks like. So thank you very much, Chris. And we'll move into the agenda. So the first item on our agenda today that I put in here is that discussions about the Kubernetes IO account on Twitter are well underway. We've had a bit of back and forth about that with the CNCF this week. I think where we're at right now is the CNCF has given steering the credentials for the account, but there's a question open about how exactly the CNCF maintains access. And so we're trying to figure out, how does that work? Do we keep the account credentials in 1Password and like add them to that? We can add them to Buffer, but then they don't get access to reply to things or retweet things. So I think they need to maintain access to the account directly, but we need to figure out exactly what that looks like with them. So there was some discussion about that earlier in the week, and then it kind of fell off, and I just restarted that before this meeting.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments about the Kubernetes IO Twitter
I mean, the
business?
most logical path forward is, share the 1Pass and done. But who
Yeah,
to do
I
that
think
with
so.
is the question. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what they're talking about there. I will catch back up later. Yeah. All right. Any other new items?
Sorry, Kathleen, sorry to
Go ahead.
interrupt. I have one question. So, do we have a Twitter premium account or it's a non-premium account?
Correct. We have a non-premium account for Kate's contributors. So there are two accounts going on in Twitter here. So we've had an account called Kate's Contributors for several years, and that is an account by contributors for contributors. It has, I don't know, how many followers does that have? Like 10,000?
I
Less
have
than that,
no
right?
idea. Yeah, I have no idea. Sorry.
Some thousand. But the account we're talking about right now is the official Kubernetes account on Twitter, which was started and owned by the CNCF for a number of years, and it has around 300,000 followers on Twitter. So it may have premium through it being just such a large account or something.
Yeah. Who knows?
But we do not pay for Twitter premium, and I don't imagine that we would.
No, it's probably a legacy check mark, I feel like.
Yeah, if we have one on the Kubernetes IO account, then it would be a legacy thing, probably.
Yeah, definitely. Let me just put a link to it in the notes at the very least. Oh,
Thank you for
no.
bringing
Okay.
that up. I had not even thought about that.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm asking about the premium and the non-premium is because the non-premium has a character limitation, while
Yep.
the premium can actually write very long notes. So which is why I'm asking about it. Because when Arpita and I had a discussion, we were also thinking like, if a fun fact is longer, how do we put it in a single tweet?
Yes. So I don't think that we would ever purchase premium in Twitter, at least under its current management.
Mhm.
There are significant concerns within the community with us having an account at all on Twitter because of the moral implications, because of all that Twitter's been going through. So I think the community would be very against us paying Twitter.
Yes. 100% agree.
Any other questions or comments about our Twitter accounts?
Oddly enough, I don't follow this account. I should remedy that.
That's pretty funny.
That
The one
is
that
pretty
like
funny.
has so many followers.
You know, it's just me here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm checking in on that. 303.9 thousand followers. It does have a blue check mark, so it's
Yeah.
probably a legacy thing.
There is like I'm gonna find there is an extension that tells you like if it's a legacy or not.
Okay. Kathleen, can you just tell me
Yes.
what is the legacy thing? What does the legacy thing mean?
Yes. So, Chris, you might be even better to explain this than me, but I want to give it a shot. um, so Twitter, before Elon Musk took over, Twitter used the blue check mark or verification to mean this is the account of the person that it says it is. But once Elon Musk took over, instead of verification meaning this is the account it says it is, it means they pay you money. So a lot of moral concerns with that. But yeah.
So yeah, this account is verified and it's been verified since March 2022, but it is
Yeah.
not a premium account in any way, shape, or form.
So the reason that the Kubernetes IO account has a check mark is because at one point it was saying this is the Kubernetes account, the official one, and it is who it says it is. Not because somebody paid for it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. And that was mainly done for very large accounts, of course. And Kate's contributors, our other account, is not particularly large, so it does
No.
not need that level of verification. So it never had a check mark through that system, and we haven't paid for one, so it wouldn't.
Yeah,
have
and to be
been-
fair, it does ask me if I want to upgrade when I get that info. Yeah, so there's not like premium features behind the check mark.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the difference, the mega difference between legacy check mark and paid check mark. You don't actually get anything. You just get check.
But they look the same, right? Generally.
Yeah, they do look the same. And there is this extension that isn't really helping me right now. I don't know.
So it
It's
sounds
weird.
like when we do get access to that account, we will not have premium features on it, even though it has a check
No,
mark.
not from what I'm looking at here. No. Weird.
Useful.
Okay. I need to figure out what this thing is actually doing because it's not working. Anyways, please continue.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments about Twitter? All right. Any other new items that we want to discuss? Has anybody seen any requests for our group come in? Actually, there was one in the SIG ContribEx call this week. I don't remember what it was. Let me bring up those
Oh
notes real
no,
quick.
because I was not able to make that.
Understandable.
Yeah, I know. But still.
I'm
Sorry.
checking in the notes.
Sorry, one question. So when you say a new request comes, where do they come? They come in the Slack channel.
That is a
There are
question.
there are multiple ways how requests can come in. So usually it's the usual way would be opening an issue in the community repository to ask for communications. The most used way is someone pops into the SIG ContribEx comms channel and says like, hey, I need this kind of communication. The third option is, hey, I know someone from SIG ContribEx comms, and people are getting asked directly, and then we usually take it into this meeting.
Thank you.
I
yes.
found.
It is
Yeah,
a
I found it.
verified account.
Okay. But not a premium account.
Mm-mm. No.
Gotcha. So the thing from yeah, the thing from the SIG ContribEx meeting was the Salt Lake City Contributor Summit for KubeCon North America is in need of a lead. There were no shadows for EU, and we don't think there were any shadows for the last North America. So we need folks, if they are interested in leading the Contributor Summit, to reach out to us. So there was a request for some comms, letting folks know that if they would
Is
like to
it
do
for
that, they should
only
let us know.
US residents?
It's not that you have to be a resident, but you do need to be attending the Contributor Summit for sure.
Yes. Yeah. There's very few roles for people that aren't attending.
Yeah, comms
Okay,
is
so
the
like
one
if
thing
I do,
for Contributor Summit. Go ahead.
so if I do volunteer for it, and like if I do not get a scholarship or a visa, then that might be a case. So do you think I should volunteer in that case?
No,
Yeah. If
not for lead.
no, like if you're volunteering to be a like primary, you need to be like guaranteed going kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I will not be in Salt Lake City, so I can't and won't volunteer to lead it.
I'm getting the
I'm
feeling
more-
that this may be my first time leading a Contributor Summit.
Good luck.
Someone.
I volunteered yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I would-
Yay!
I would go for leading it.
Awesome. Thank you for stepping up. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mario. You'll do great. And we will get a team around you to help support you.
Yes. Just because I'm not going doesn't mean I still can't help. So yeah.
So
Josh
you're
and I-
volunteering for comms lead. Thank
No.
you.
No, absolutely not. No, I'm not going to have my name around Salt Lake City. Sorry.
That may be me.
I
this time,
will
we'll see.
assist comms, but not in an official capacity. Well, other than co-lead of this group.
Yeah, we'll get all that worked out. We'll see if anyone else wants to volunteer for comms lead. I'll work with them and support them.
Who did it last time? Natalie, right?
Natalie did it. Great job. Yeah,
Yeah, she did wonderful and involved us when she realized she could.
very effectively. Yes, which has been a problem. We'll talk about that more as we get closer and planning
Yes,
starts.
Mario, remind people that we exist. Thank you.
I will.
We had talked about some new processes of making sure that the comms lead for Contributor Summit has access and buffer and stuff like that. So we should shore that up. Try it out with this one.
And thank you for whoever started taking notes as I was off on my Twitter expedition.
Oh, that was me, I guess. I just do that.
I'm not the best note taker, and that's why.
It's a team effort.
Thank you.
The volunteering is still appreciated. Awesome. Thank you very much, Mario, for volunteering to lead that. Contributor Summit planning for North America for Salt Lake City should be starting soon. As Chris mentioned, most of the lead positions for that will require that you be on site. So if it is a question, if you will be on site, I would recommend not applying for lead, except maybe for comms. Probably not for lead, though, still for comms. We would have you be a shadow or a volunteer for
So that you
comms if you're
could
not
pick it
totally
up.
sure you can be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is like the only role with the Contributor Summit that is okay with having virtual
Mhm.
volunteers or shadows.
Sad but true.
Yeah, someone Nitish mentioned in the chat that it requires that you be on site. Correct.
Yes. And there is an India edition in December that will be happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was discussed in the contributor experience call this week. That not only do we need to start planning Salt Lake City, that planning should start in the next few weeks. But also we need to be reaching out to folks about Hong Kong and India. So there's some planning starting to move with these. India is in December, so it can start even a little bit later than North America. And also, there's a conversation going on with the CNCF right now. The India Contributor Summit might be the first edition where it's a maintainer summit, not a Kubernetes contributor summit. The difference, excellent sticker,
Thank you.
celebrating Kubernetes 1.30.
What's funny is I can still see just fine.
But the difference here with the maintainer summit versus the Kubernetes contributor summit is the CNCF wants to run a summit for all of the maintainers of their projects, not
Yeah,
just
for
Kubernetes.
all the projects. I think that's the big takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah. So that has been something that's been in discussion for a few years. And they're considering implementing the first one, maybe with India. But keeping an eye on those conversations.
I did talk to an events person at LF when I was at Open Source Summit. And yeah, they were excited about this. They described like some of their high level thinking, and I was like, okay, that should work. I mean, you know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you'll know why, you know? So, yeah.
I'm excited about the idea. I also think it will significantly change how we plan that, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully it will take some of the burden of the planning off of our hands. So maybe it'll be a little bit lighter weight to plan that one. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
And
Indeed.
that planning I expect to start in the next couple of months. Probably by end of June for sure, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Any other new items or questions around the new items we have discussed? All right. Feel free to pop in at any time with questions. We'll move on to updates, big wins. So in updates, big wins, we have the Kubernetes fun fact concept. So would whoever added that like to talk about it?
So I will be taking that one. So basically, I and Sandeep have prepared the Google Sheets for the Kate's fun fact. Let me send it over to the chat. Also, like you can add fun facts over there, and then we can convert it into posts and something.
Cool.
I love it.
Here it is.
I don't know about this Kate's one. I would say that I usually see it pronounced K8s rather than Kate's, but there is a joke stemming from Ian Coldwater about Kate. That is not a community thing exactly, though. It's more of just an Ian thing, where Ian made a joke about Kate and her unruly twins, Molly and Moby, who are the the mascots of Docker. So it was a Kubernetes Docker joke, but I don't actually hear K8s pronounced Kates very often.
I pronounce it Kate's, but I'm in the minority. I know that for a fact.
Tim Kates here as well.
K8s or Kates? It's hard to hear the difference, honestly.
I do it Kates, but
Yeah.
I generally avoid it and just say Kubernetes. But
right, like same. I usually just spit it out unless I'm talking about something you can type into your browser, right? Like, yeah.
Certainly a matter of debate. Similar to kubectl or kubectl or kubectl.
Kubectl is what I'm going with. Yeah.
That's just wrong. That I mean.
Okay, so the doc I have shared is a Google Sheets, like it's similar to the one what we do for KubeCon tweets and all. So like I am thinking of circulating the Google Sheets and then asking folks if they want, they can fill it in a fun fact, and either they themselves convert that into a post that we can schedule by after reviewing, or like we can convert that into a post and then we can post it.
I think with the way that this has started out, I like the idea of sharing this doc around for folks to add their fun facts, and they can do it in plain language, and then we can convert it into posts. If it's too long, then we can do multiple posts.
Yeah.
But I think generally, hopefully, we'll be able to adjust these so that they end up in one post. We'll see.
So like I am thinking of doing one fun fact per post, and that is to weekly, not like every day or something, to convert it into a series, because I don't know how many fun facts for Kubernetes are there. So I don't know how long we can pull that off. Like I am quite new to this, so I don't know many fun facts, but like folks who are using Kubernetes for years now probably have some.
Actually, I kind of want to I mean, there's infinite fun facts. It just depends on how many people can think of. I think I'll move these notes into another document so that they're accessible by the community, because we don't have edit access on this right now.
Right.
And I'll send that to you, Arpit and Sandeep, right?
Okay.
And one thing I want to add with that is a description of the project at the top.
Yes.
This document is for our fun fact project. We're going to be posting these monthly. Add a description of a fun fact below, and we'll turn it into a social media post, something like that.
Awesome.
I'm going to put that on my list to do later.
Kathleen, like what do you prefer, Google Docs or Google Sheets? Like this one, which I shared now, is a Google Sheets, and the other in which the facts are written is a plain Google Doc.
I'll probably create a regular Google Doc. We
Yeah.
can, Sandeep mentioned in the comments or in the chat that we can just give editor access to anyone with the link, which you're welcome to do with that if you want to move forward with this. But I also think it makes sense for it to live in a community-owned repo so that we always have
Yes.
it as documentation.
Exactly. Yes.
I put that in the chat. We have a community Google Drive that we can put it in. We could also do it in GitHub, but I think I'll move it into a community-owned Google Drive for you and then let you know where I put that, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. But go ahead and work with this for now.
Well, I mean, I think I can just add it, can't you?
Yeah. If you
Okay.
can find the drive, that's always the issue for
I can
me.
find it. Yeah. Well, I can't. So I don't have the rights to it yet, but yeah, I could move it.
Okay. If you want to give that a shot while we're busy here, please
Yeah.
do go ahead. I put it on my list to do later if we don't get to it yet. Cool.
Oh, I'm changing accounts. That's why. That might be the problem.
All right. Are there any other updates or big wins while Chris looks into that? Okay. I think we will move on to the board then. Let me send the
well,
link.
Yeah. So if we are going to make it as a Google Drive document, it's wonderful that everyone can contribute. But then how we are going to track the scheduling of posts? We are going to use an Excel or
Right. It might be good to do it as a sheet, like a spreadsheet. Kind of like how we do for the KubeCon tweets. Let me grab an example for you.
Yeah.
Let me find that.
I have actually made a Google Sheets. If you want to own it, I can give you the access.
Sure. There's a couple different ways that you could do this. You could make it a Google Doc for people to add to. Personally, I like sharing the sheet itself for people to add their ideas to, and then you can rewrite
Will this
the
work?
idea in place if you want to. And here's the link to the KubeCon tweets as an example. Ah, lovely. That looks good to me, Arpit.
Yeah, basically I copy pasted it from the coupon tools itself.
Nice.
So I am thinking of circulating the seeds. But like as you said, this particular seed is owned by me right now. Like it's owned by my Google account. So is there a way to transfer it, or are you going to create a new one?
I think there is a way to move it, but it's really annoying.
Well,
Chris, are you trying to
yeah.
move or are you trying to create new?
So there is an option to move, but I think I have to be an owner.
Maybe
of
you
the
can make a
document.
copy of it and then you can get it.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely do that. It's just, do
Yeah.
you want me to? Yes or no? You know, so I can push a copy anywhere.
Yeah. I don't have access to move either of these documents.
No, but I can make a copy of it real quick and
Yeah, we can just create a copy and send you the new link. That's probably the easiest thing to do.
exactly.
Moving files in Google Drive is very frustrating.
Yeah. All right. Cool. It's there, and here's the new link. Do.
And Sandeep asked in the chat what your sticker was.
It's the release logo.
1.30 release logo.
It's Kubernetes, right?
Yeah, Kubernetes 1.30. The new
Yeah, the release.
newest Kubernetes release.
The release team creates their own release team logo for the release. And it's like we've had ridiculous ones. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Like one was dedicated to Olive Garden breadsticks, for example. And for some reason, a lot of what I assume is dude bros did not like this logo.
I have not seen any complaints about it except someone complaining about people complaining about it. So
Just go to there's a whole Reddit thread. Like the release thread
What?
on Reddit is just nothing but like negative comments about the logo. It's ridiculous. Like
that's
Tim
ridiculous.
and Christoph and a bunch of other people jumped in to kind of like tone it down or
I
get it
see.
toned down. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Reddit is a platform that we do not use in this group.
Although the subreddit is maintained by a community person. They're
Yeah.
just not part of this team. Yeah.
But it is not an officially project owned thing.
No.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So any other questions, comments about Kubernetes fun facts or any other updates, big wins? We only have 15 minutes left, so if we can move into the board, I think we
Yes,
should do
please.
that. All right. I posted the link to the board. I'm going to do that again. Like the comment in chat, haters gonna hate.
Yeah,
Such a
pretty
thing.
much.
So diving into the board, we only have one item in ready for review, which is the SIG node post by Arpit. Arpit, would you like to share any updates on that, or Frederico?
I think I have done my part. Over to Federico.
Yeah, so on me, there was just one small little detail that prevented me to open the PR, and I think that Arpit already clarified it in Slack. It was essentially, I only detected that since this is an interview with 3 different people on the other side, and they reply together, right, as a single kind of thing, then there's a specific question that and that the answer is given on a more personal level, right? My first cap was this, and I just needed to clarify that with our pits, because we don't often have interviews in which the 3 or more than one interviewee participate in the answers as a unit. So this seldom surface, but I think we got it. I've seen that Arpit has replied. I haven't read it yet, but with that out of the way, we should open the PR soon, like today. But we can
Sounds
discuss
good.
it here as well, Arpit. So be
Yeah, like the problem is actually I don't think like there's a slight chance more than 3 people actually filled a doc, because when I asked the PS to fill it up, they actually circulated a doc in the SIG community itself.
Yeah.
And then they basically told everyone to fill it, like whatever they like to fill. And then when I asked them, like when they said the doc is filled, I checked it out. But what I did is like in the first impression, I basically checked, okay, the doc is filled, I can now convert it into a blog. But when I actually converted it into a blog, I find that the starting couple of answers, they have their respective names written. Like if someone said something, so they wrote their name. But after like when we moved to the sidecar cap section, so they stopped writing their names. So I figured out to maintain the consistency, either I need to ask which person answered which thing, and I don't think they also remember like which person answers which part of the doc. So I removed the names, and I
Yeah.
basically converted to a general answer.
But
So that it's
one doubt
like
there. When you say
Yeah.
the community, do you mean that more than those 3 persons that present themselves in the beginning were responsible for the answers?
No, basically what they did, I asked them. So basically what they did, those 3 people actually filled up whole the
Okay.
doc, but they also circulated the doc in the community. Like if anyone wants to fill the doc in, then they can. And I actually conveyed to them, like whoever is filling, like kindly write their names
Yeah.
over it. So basically I found only those 3 names written in the doc. So
Yeah.
the section where no names are written, I don't know basically
Yeah,
who
got it.
answered it.
So to sum it up, we have the 3 individuals that are individually presented in the beginning with names. They are the ones that contributed the content, but after the initial introduction, it's mostly a team effort. They've covered things together, so it's essentially we can assume that all of them contributed in some way to the answers. That's great. That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is right. Also, one thing, when I went to the Signode meeting, there are only those 3 people having
Yeah.
those meetings. So
Okay.
I guess mainly those 3 are responsible for the talk.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
anyone else like answered it, like the thread on the Slack which I am talking,
Yeah.
like from which I am talking to them, like I am in the contact of those 3 only.
But the problem currently is this. So one, even if someone else wrote things, let's assume that they wrote things, and these 3 identified individuals are responsible and vouch for whatever it was written, right? That's not true?
Right.
Okay. My issue then is that this works for a lot of questions, but there's a particular one which I hadn't, I missed this the first time I've read it, because this works for a lot of questions. But if you ask, what are you proud of? And the answer is, I'm particularly proud of this because it was my first cap. This is not something that can be community
Jointly owned.
owned. Yeah, this is very like my first cap. This is a specific individual. So we either omit this one, or in the specific one identify the person writing, which is fine, because the way that I'm doing the markdown is I've added the first letters of each person that we do identify to symbolize that it's a joint answer. And in this one, we can just say the specific name. Both work, but yeah, but we need to clarify this before opening the PR, because this will be one of the obvious things that we will be. We can continue this offline, or not offline, but outside of the meeting. But yeah, we should clarify this a bit more in order to avoid, because these questions will be made by the SIG reviewers, almost certainly. Just they, for example, I remember Tim clearly asking if for the Kubernetes book club, if the photo that was used was photoshopped in any way because of the logo. So this is the kind of stuff, authorship and stuff like that really matters to the reviewer. So we should spend a couple of more hours in this before opening the PR. So that's the status of that one. Yeah.
Actually, I have gone through that answer again right now. And what do you think if we like the answer is in the first person format? Like it's like, I think the best moment was when my first cap. So can we convert it into like we think the best moment was when we have our first cap? Like instead of
the first,
converting.
But yeah,
No.
but
No.
that would only work if the first cap was a actual joint effort from the three of them, which I doubt, right?
Right.
It's like we all replying, me and you together, and Kate, and the answer is we all practice judo. That's really not the case. I hope for your help, but
Right.
yeah. So that one,
So
go on. Sorry.
So, in that case, figuring out the person and like writing the person name in only one answer, then either I need to collect the perspective of all three, or
Yeah,
like we
or
need
just
to
that
omit.
one. Yeah, or
Yeah.
exactly. That's perfect. That would be the correct course, I think.
So, what is your vote? Like, should we omit it, or should I ask? Because I remember
Yeah.
from this question onwards, they have stopped writing the names.
I have, we have three options. One, we omit this one, and that's done. We have the second option, which is we identify who specifically answered this one, because this is a more personal one, and we in the when we do the markdown for the answer, we explicitly, instead of saying MGS, which is the first letters of the names, we just say whatever, Marcus or Anthony or whatever. And we have a third option, which is the most cumbersome, I would say, to go back to them and say, could you please, each one of you, individually answer just this one, because this one is personal. So that would also work. So whatever we want, one of these three, I think can work.
So, what do you suggest? What is your opinion?
I would say the middle one would be. So I would not immediately like to cut down the answer, but if we can, I just identify the person.
Actually, I have identified. I checked the Google Doc, which is I kept a copy of unfiltered Google Doc before editing anything. So in there, this answer is written by Mathis.
Perfect. I will just use, so what we do is this, in order to keep the ball rolling, I will add Matthias there for that answer and proceed with the rest. I will open the PR, and then if we have any more discussions, we can do it at the same time as the SIG docs review. That way we gain time and avoid wasting more cycles in this. But that already helps. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So we have 5 minutes left. So that was our only ready for review item. Thank you, Arpit and Federico, for working that out. I can try to quickly go through stuff in the in progress column. Federico, would you like to give updates on your spotlights and maybe your blogging shadow guide?
So I've been talking with them in order to get some urgency on the missing ones, and we have an idea going forward. I will put an update on SIG Architecture's channel so that we can get answers from the ones that are missing. So I won't go into a lot of details around that because it's been covered, and I hope that it will work in order to get the answers from the two that we have left. That's for SIG architecture. For SIG API management, they are copying the answers that they had to my document because my Gmail account is chronically at 100%, and I have to clean it up, but then it goes back, and there are photos and videos, and I don't have the time or the urgency to move them to another account. So, what happened was that they filled on a separate document, and now they are moving it back. So we do have the answers, and I do hope that in the next week we will have that one ready for review.
Excellent. And then SIG etcd.
SIG etcd. Still no, I didn't update that one. Sorry. So no updates from last time. I'll put it on my urgent to do one, which is tied with the shadowing stuff, which I shared last week. Maybe I should share it in the channel as well to get more comments. And I currently have to, without wanting to change the topic, but this is related because SIG etcd one was one that I was saving for someone to help me with it. And I currently have two to shadow volunteers, right? I have Arujwal and let me see, Satyam Sani, right? I don't think they have been participating here in the last, since they showed their interest in the last 1 month and a half ago. So I will have to perhaps remake this appeal and check if someone else is also interested in being a shadow, right? I see lots of people here which are actively doing spotlights and stuff like that. So I would think they would be natural candidates for this as well.
Like, if I may ask, what are the shadow requirements? Like, is there any particular time commitments or like anything?
If you go, let me share my. Yeah, I have a document with that. I still haven't got the time commitments part there, but I don't expect it to be more than what you already spent. To be honest, it's. If I had to, if I had a gun to my head, I would say 1 hour for this meeting plus, I don't know, 2 hours for the rest of the week to work on stuff, right? And this is just a estimate. You can perfectly do under this, but the idea would be that people would like write articles like you're doing already. So you're already covering that to a good extent. Also open their own issues and PRs, review documents, come up with ideas. So a lot of actually what we discussed on outside of the channel are things that I have in the shadowing program. So I'll share the link when I find it. Which I have it here. Wait. I'll share it in the channel, okay? Actually, I've shared it with you already. In the
The one you tagged me in it.
yeah, in the conversation thread with Josh.
Yeah,
Burkus.
this one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the current draft. I'm actually updating it with time estimations like we have in the handbooks, rule books. But I still haven't made it yet. But yeah, that's it. So can I understand from your words that you're interested in it as well?
Yes, I am interested
Okay.
in it.
That was what I wanted to hear. So okay, now you're done.
We should probably follow a similar process and create shadow guides for
Arvind as
I
well.
think we were
So
trying to, but yeah.
I'll make another appeal in the channel, and please add yourselves to it. I was waiting for my to have these drafts in order to speed up things, and I think that with this conversation we already have both the document expectations and the volunteers for this to work. So thank you for that.
All right, we are at time. So with that, we will conclude our meeting for the day. If folks can hang out for a minute longer, are there any last minute items before I stop the recording?
Sorry, I joined late, so I had a minor update. I mean, I was working on the SIG scheduling spotlight blog, so I sent a message in the SIG scheduling Slack quite a few days ago, but then there was no message or update on that. So
Welcome to Spotlights.
Yay! Oh boy.
It's fun. So after a few days, I replied in the on the thread. I CC'd the tech leads, the emeritus leads, and everyone, and asked if it was something they would like to have on their plates right now. I mean, if they had the bandwidth to do it or not. So I just saw today that one of the tech leads replied that he was not up for it, but then he mentioned another reviewer of the SIG scheduling group and asked him if he was ready to take things up. And he replied as well, saying that he can help out. So I think that could work. But I just wanted to ask if there was something, there was a rule or something that only tech leads can help with the spotlight blog, or
Absolutely not.
anyone?
No.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
whoever the SIG
No.
thinks is appropriate.
Right. Like they
Okay.
can nominate, the leads can nominate someone, right?
Right. Okay, perfect. So I think I'll reply to him and then we can get things up to
Yeah.
speed again. Yeah.
So sometimes they are tech leads, other times they are shares, and other times there are sub-project leads or just contributors. So yeah, they are appointed by someone. As long as you get the go from someone in the official channel, then that's perfectly fine.
Okay, right. Thank you.
What is your GitHub handle, Arvind?
Mine, I'll type it
Yes.
in the chat. Yeah.
In the chat, please. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna create an item on the board to track your progress.
Okay.
And I want to try to assign it to you, but do you know if you're a Kubernetes org member?
No, I'm not. So.
Okay, so I won't be able to assign it to you, but I'll try to tag you in it. Let me see if that's a thing that I can do.
Yeah.
Or at least mention your GitHub handle. And this will help contribute toward you going for org membership if you want to. So
Yes.
I would love that. Thank you.
perfect. I have created a new item on the board for tracking that, and we will track it going forward in meetings. Thank you for figuring that out. You did perfect.
It was
Awesome.
my first time, but it was fun.
Yay. That's part of it, right? It's the challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge of talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we are 3 minutes over. Any last minute items before I stop the recording? And I can hang out for a few minutes after, but just for the recording. All right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll say goodbye to our friends on YouTube. Bye,
Bye,
YouTube.
YouTube.